Jesus on the cross, his mother at the foot of the cross, watching her son. She's just not watching another person. She just wasn't another person at the cross, but she's watching her son. She's watching her son who's been beat. She's watching the nails. She sees the crown. She knows that this is flesh of my flesh. This is bone of my bone. It was prophesied that she would feel it in her soul. So while he was hurting, so was she. And how many times have we been in a place where we're in pain and we're saying, God, come down and do something. God, I know that you can deliver us from this situation. I know that you have the power to get us out of where we are. God, don't you see we're in pain? Don't you see, oh God, that I'm standing down here and I know you can do something about this? I don't know about you. I don't know if you've ever been in a place where you just want God to just stretch out his hand. I don't know if you've ever been to a place where everything looks like nothing's working out and you're in the greatest pain of your life and he wants you and you want him to cry out, daughter. You want him to cry out, my son. You want him to cry out your name, but instead of doing that, he says, woman. There's some significance in him saying woman. He didn't say mom. He didn't say mother. He said woman. And the same way he called her woman, it's the same way he calls us. In this situation, God was giving us instruction on how to be on assignment in the midst of our pain. That he will call us into assignment in the midst of what we're going through. That we can't sit at the foot of the cross and just look up. We can't sit there and just want to grieve like everybody else grieves. God's called us to an assignment that even in the midst of pain, we still got to pray. In the midst of pain, we still got to preach. In the midst of pain, we still got to worship. Woman, not mother, not preacher, not prophet, not apostle. Woman is what he said. Because we get caught up in our titles, we get caught up in our gifts, we get caught up in all the labels that someone's given us, but we forgot that we are woman. That he called us in the midst of our assignment. I've been at a place in the hardest moment of my life, and I'm sitting there going, God, how did you get me in this place? Why am I standing in this place? And in the midst of looking at a dead situation, God still had me on assignment. In the midst of looking like nothing was going to work out, while you called me to this, I realized I was still on assignment. And he looked down at this woman. He looked down at her, and he didn't want to call her mother for a number of reasons, because he was also protecting her. Because the same people who were beating him, the same people who had crucified him and wanted him dead, were still standing there. And he protected her by not identifying her as his mother. He protected the ones he loved. He did not say, John, who I love. He didn't say any of that. He said disciple. Protecting the ones that you love. And how many times can we stand back in the midst of what we're going through and protect the ones that we love? Still on assignment, still giving out grace, still on assignment. And when we look at the Hebrew meaning of mother, it says a term of endearment. And it says out of divine respect. Divine respect, not just a little, but divine respect. And so, and I looked at this situation because I haven't been a mother for very long. And it's some things you don't understand until you are a mother. And I didn't understand that years ago when my mom used to say, you'll get it when you have a baby. You'll get it when you have a child. But it's something about watching your child in pain. It's something about watching him in pain and you can't fix the situation. It's something about when you can't go in and just be mom and make it all okay. It's something about that. And some months ago, we had a tragedy in our family, and I had to bury my godson. And I was standing at the funeral home, and I said, God, I don't see you in this. I don't see you in this, God. I don't know how we got into this on, I still had to serve. I couldn't get into my pity party. I couldn't get into all of this. But God said, in the midst of what you're going through, I have ordained you for a reason. I put gifts in you for a reason. I've given you an assignment for a reason. And you don't have the ability to sit down on my assignment just because you're in pain. You don't have a reason to sit on your assignment because you don't understand. But disciple. And when he called the disciples and said, take this woman he knew that boy was going to need some help. The two people that loved him most was right there, and he put them together. We got to be careful of our connections with people while we're in pain. Because if we connect with the wrong people, we're going to have some messed up resolutions. But he put the two people that he loved the most together. And tonight in my closing, ask yourself, what do you do when Jesus gives you an assignment in the midst of your pain? What do you do when Jesus gives you an assignment while your flesh is hurting? While your body is hurting? When you can't choose to walk away and act like you don't see what's hanging on the cross? When you can't look away and think it's going to be all okay? When you can't do, what do you do? When he gives you an assignment while you're yet in pain. The only thing I know is that the disciple obeyed the instructions. The mother obeyed the instructions. The woman obeyed the instructions. So when you don't know what to do in the midst of your pain and you're trying to figure out, God, why have you called me to this thing? Obey the instruction.